woke up, had some breakfast. I was in the back with my feet up watching Netflix before my match. I was trying to not put any pressure on myself, because if I put pressure on myself, that's when I don't think I would have been able to wrestle the best match possible. And so I was trying to stay calm. The coaches did a great job keeping me out of the environment. I was in the back, I couldn't hear anything, headphones on, and I was really clear-minded going into that match, and that was some of the crucial things that I needed to have for me to go in there with a clear mind and wrestle just the way I do, not trying to think about any of the extra things that are going on in the arena.
Obviously starting your career at Air Force, finishing at Oklahoma State, we're all seeing what David Taylor's doing to that program.
Oh, man.
Take us in the room a little bit last year and what it was like to be a part of building that foundation. Obviously, you have been a key part of the momentum that they now have down in Stillwater.
Yes, well, I really just got to give it to the coaching staff. I mean, all of them work together as a team, and they each play a different role. Sometimes someone needs to be the bad guy, but sometimes we need a little bit of motivation. But being in that wrestling environment, Coach Taylor really kind of just observed because I was one of the, he'd been there for a little bit, but he was kind of observing, just seeing, hey, what's going on, what works and what doesn't. And he didn't just come in and start pointing fingers. And that made a big, he didn't walk in like, hey, we're gonna start doing this. He didn't start changing everything. He observed, he saw what worked, he saw what needed some help, and he slowly started implementing what I like to say now is more of an attitude of a champion. We have attitude in everything we do, putting our shoes on, our warm-up, our drills, our live. It's all about attitude, because we need to be consistent, because the way we practice is the way we're going to wrestle out in a live match. And so really just creating that mindset and attitude of a champion made a big difference. But all the little things he did to help me in my wrestling career, the small things in neutral and all those little niche positions, it made a big difference. And we saw that last year at the National Championships.
Let's set the stage here for 149 pounds. The #1 seed, Shane Van Ness for the Nittany Lions, undefeated. Casey Swiderski, the former Cyclone, now Cowboy, coming to Stillwater from Ames, the 8th seed, an All-American 2 years ago for the Cyclones. Mat 5, Cross Wasilewski of Penn, and the 3-time All-American Lachlan McNeil of Michigan. Down on mat 4 is Carter Young, the 12th seed, Chance Leamer of Nebraska, a 20. One of those guys will be in the semifinals. Jackson Joy and Aiden Valencia, they are underway on mat 6. Joy, the 2 seed, and getting to his offense immediately.
Yeah, wasting no time, in on a shot right out of the gate, and we all know what happens when Jackson Joy gets on top. He's super dangerous, deadly cradle, great leg series. Valencia doing a good job fighting with this wizard, but Joy throwing that far leg in, trying to capture the hips, able to drop and get the takedown, and immediately gets that crossbody in.
One thing that you know about Casey Swiderski, he is willing to throw down any place, anytime.
He is tough. I'll tell you what, even in the wrestling room and he gets after it, he's such a kind guy, because he'll go and have the hardest collar tie, nearly punch someone in the face, and then coach will be like, hey, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to have fun, I'm just trying to wrestle. He is one tough dude. I'm really glad that I was able to wrestle with him for 1 year at Oklahoma State.
Jackson Joy, so good in this position, looking for a tilt. It's going to be a stall call on Joy. You see the count once it reaches 5. It is a stall call.
And I think he's okay taking that. Again, top
Sure.
is the position he wants to be in. He's not the kind of guy who's going to stall. He's an offensive wrestler. He wants to run the scoreboard up, and getting the fresh whistle start is the right move for him. White, if you're Swiderski, how are you thinking about approaching this match with Van Ness? What does he have to do to have a shot at the upset?
I think he has to show Van Ness that he can wrestle him. That makes a difference. Whenever you step out across the mat, you can tell if your opponent really has that will to win, and that's what really shakes your opponent. I like to say in my match against Gable Stevenson, I didn't give up that first takedown. I wrestled through it and showed Gable I could wrestle, and so that really changes the mindset of not you, but your opponent and how they look at you. They know that it's not going to be an easy match, and that's what Casey Swiderski is doing right now.
And you talk about the collar ties in the room. We saw a couple hard ones there. He's letting Van Ness know that he is on the mat,
wrestle.
And he's here to wrestle, exactly.
Chance Lamer, a takedown riding time over 60 seconds. Really good opening stanza here for the Cornhusker. Joy, 6-1, couple of takedowns. Wasilewski and McNeil, no score, 45 to go in the first. Wyatt, in the last year, what's been the coolest thing you've gotten to experience because of that big win?
I gotta say that I went to UFC 314. And President Trump was there yet again, and being in that environment it was a very obviously hostile, because it's MMA. and really how the fans are really similar to wrestling. They care about it, they're passionate, and just being able to go to that event, I've met a lot of awesome people that I've always seen on TV, you know, and just kind of being there with them. I was in that section, like I was next to John Party and a bunch of really famous people, but the fans were asking for me for pictures, and I'm like, you know, Zac Efron's right in front of me, but they're like, Wyatt. And
You're better looking, Wyatt.
I don't know. I mean, after wrestling, I got a couple beautiful scars on my face, but that was definitely one of the top events for me.
I would love to see a push-up contest between you and Zac Efron.
I'll do it, man. I'm pretty good at push-ups. Being in the military, our military tests, I mean, you can max out at 72, but man, I can do some push-ups.
You began your career at the Air Force Academy. There's a Falcon on mat number 1. 8-0 lead again. Mats 1 and 2 on the left, 7 and 8 on the right. Consolation matches. You win, you move on. You lose, you go home. Wazalewski with a takedown and a ride out on mat 5 on the 3-time All-American Lachlan McNeil. He earned all 3 of those All-American honors at North Carolina. Coupled on at 141. Swiderski and Van Ness, no score after 3 minutes. The Cowboy goes on bottom. Always looking who's able to win that whistle. Not much there from Swiderski off the whistle.
Yeah, but a good job making this a 4-minute match if you're Swiderski. It's a hard hand fight, you know, good defense, putting some doubt in the mind of Van Ness and his ability to get to his offense.
I would have liked to see a little bit more of an explosion by Swiderski, but he's always got a plan. You just got to trust that they know what they're doing out there.
Riding time already coming up on 30 seconds here in the second period. Van Ness, the Big Ten champion, 2-time All-American. He's been third twice.
Good shot here on the edge, bottom right from Valencia of Stanford. Joy fighting with that shin wizard, trying to keep him below the knee. Limp arm attempt, but great situational awareness by Joy to get out of bounds and get the fresh start.
You guys can both speak to this, and Mike, during this MatCast coverage these past couple of days, we brought it up a couple of times, how things can turn. A couple of weeks ago, Big Ten championships, Lamer, believe it was against Ryder Block, loses a heartbreaker. And I remember standing there on the floor, watching him walk by. You could see the disappointment, the frustration. Would have been an easy time maybe to let that self-doubt creep in. Here he is, a 20 seed, riding time over 2.5 minutes, halfway through the second period, controlling the match, a couple of takedowns. I mean, things can turn so quickly.
Yeah, they really can. And again, the conference results, they happen, they are what they are, but nobody talks about throughout the season, hey, you got to do this at the conference, hey, you got to place at the conference. It's all about this third weekend of March. Do you get on the podium? Are you an All-American? So this opportunity at this tournament is what all these guys are wired to compete for. And when you're in the arena, the lights are on, the fans are cheering. You tap into something different and you just make it happen.
And it's almost that the wrestlers that understand that in the postseason, there's 0-0. Like, yes, you might have a good match or bad match, but none of that matters when it comes to the NCAA tournament. The wrestlers that can walk in here and not let their seed number affect how they wrestle, those are the guys who you see have breakout wrestling careers in tournaments, because people sometimes think, oh, I'm not seeded high enough. It's like, dude, to be a national champion, you just have to score more points than your opponent for 5 matches. That's all it is. Anything can happen. And so the guys who have that mental fortitude that understand that, we always see them wrestle great.
Great shot by Valencia at the end of the period. Nice ankle pick. I don't think they're going to award the takedown. But good action there. He's gotten to the legs a couple times. Joy